And we're back for another fabtacular day. Today we're going to play with the poisonous electron cubes. Red Beauty over there needs 2 new poisonous electron cubes, and our generator has needed 1 poisonous electron cube for many months, and we're limping it along on a deep cycle battery. Let's start with Red Beauty and see what we can do. I replaced these batteries some years ago. I would like to know how old they are. They've done well. I put new batteries in this beast some years ago because I went out here, had trouble starting it, popped the hood, and the battery on the passenger side was boiling without me actually doing anything. So I was slightly alarmed. I removed it quickly and threw it as far as I possibly could, which was probably 7 to 10 feet. But I'm curious how old these babies are. I don't know. I know they're not new, I can tell you that. But I don't see a date. I have a buddy who hooked me up with these poisonous electron cubes. These are April of this year and April of this year, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and do some battery replacing. I mean, how exciting is that? So I know this is going to be a little washed out, and that is because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Not that this is really exciting. Side post batteries, how extraordinarily unextraordinary. I brought my key fob just in case, because chances are when I put the new batteries on and complete the full circuit, it's going to set off the vehicle alarm. Actually, you know what? That reminds me. Let's see how much of a parasitic draw we do or do not have. All right, so this meter is fused for a maximum of 10 amps. So if for some reason I hook up the battery and we go over 10 amps, it's going to be pop goes the weasel. Really? Okay, how about, what are we on? What scale? We're on amps, range. Really, it's that low? Wow, that is so small. That can't be real. Maybe we need to check that battery? I thought these babies were in parallel? They are in parallel. Maybe we need to disconnect the other side too? Let's go disconnect the other side. Okay, let's take this baby off. A friend of mine told me that the instrument clusters on these vehicles will sometimes cause a parasitic drain that drains your batteries all the time. These batteries are old though, so I really don't feel like that's the issue. Okay, traffic, thank you. Nada. Okay, so I obviously have no idea what I'm doing, and that's okay. You know what, maybe we can take this guy here and go to a ground over here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There it is. 2.7 amps. Okay, we must be running some lights somewhere. Or not. Let's wait for a little bit and let things chill out and see if that value goes down. Because if I have a 2.4 amp draw, that's a significant problem. How about we hit the lock button? Mrs. is calling. Be right back. During that time I watched, and it starts at like 2 point some. Well, why is it so low now? Let's hit the lock button. Okay, got some lights on. Things are dissipating. This is amps, by the way. I don't know how long it takes to actually bleed off whatever system is still remaining on after the lock button. I will let you know when it happens. Okay, so about 30 seconds later, it decided to chill out. I don't know if 0.3 amps is considered a parasitic drain or not, but I did find the IPC, instrument panel cluster, / DIC, or DIC, which is the driver information center. So I'm going to pull that fuse and I'm just going to see what happens. Boop. Okay, the IPC DIC has been removed, no change. Okay, so 300 milliamp draw from somewhere. Whether or not that's normal, I honestly have no clue. But we're going to go ahead and proceed with the battery swap because, I don't know, whatever, time for a battery swap. Both cables are removed on the other side. And we'll get the last of the 4 cables taken care of here. Being a 2006, I'm fairly confident this is going to be a metric setup. There's a bolt down here for the battery hold down. 12 mil emitter, perhaps? No, it's going to be a 13. And go. There's our battery hold down. Here's our battery wrapped in some type of foam. This should be fun. If I have to remove this coolant reservoir, I'm going to be very irritated. I refuse to remove the coolant reservoir. There we go. Little innovation, ingenuity, common sense. Whatever. Get out of here, baby. Okay, let's see if I can find a date on this thing. 22? That's not that old. I'm a little disappointed. That's only 4 years old. Ouch. Sharp objects. There we go. We're in. We're going to slide it back to engage some tabs back here. Move our cables out of the way. Okay, threads have started. And go. Now we're in there. We'll see if this one sets off the alarm. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to touch it and then do unlock. Okay. I did. Stop it. Holy cow. All right. We are hooked up. Positive and negative on this side. We'll go finish up on the other side. We have the alarm disabled with the unlock button. There we go. Looking good. Sounding good. Okay. Let's see how she cranks, shall we? Should probably get this charger out of here so we don't tangle all the cords up in the belt assembly. Okay. Let's get you guys out of here so you don't get tangled up in the belt assembly.
What that meant.
What are the signals?
Oh.
You're being recorded now. You can show them.
Oh, hello.
Okay. So what's the SOS?
The SOS signal is this. Here.
Put it in front of there.
The SOS signal is when you curl your finger right here and close it, open it. You can go like this or SOS.
So if you're in trouble, you put that behind your back and
Yeah.
hopefully somebody sees it?
Yeah. Basically.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I learned something new. Thank
Yep.
you. Okay, we're going to see if this will start now. Oh, what were you going to say?
And also this means day tonight. When you put your hand up like this
Mm-hmm.
and then put it down flat on your arm.
Okay. So day to night,
Yep.
like that?
Yeah, day tonight
Okay.
or night today.
Gotcha. Sign language is a good thing to learn.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to see if this starts now.
Cross your fingers.
Fingers are crossed.
Not both of them though, because that's bad luck.
Okay. Success.
Success.
Alrighty, sun in the face, rosy cheeks from the sun. So we know it starts, but the start is a bit delayed. I know from driving this since 2010. So I complained that one time after saying it's a Duramax, it'll start. And, you know, being a smart butt, that it didn't start because it lost its prime. Anyway, I haven't started this thing in probably 3 months. I really hope it starts. It's a Duramax. It's gonna start. Guess there's a first time for everything. That's never actually happened before. It appears as though we've lost the prime. So I did find the leak, and I would like to show you where the leak is. So you see this guy right here? I believe this is the connector for the fuel heater. I was under the impression from reading service information, because I'm weird like that, that the fuel heater was only used on the vans. And this is not a van, this is a pickup truck. But let me show you what happens when I pump this baby up. I'm gonna pump the primer until the pressure gets tight. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, see on the south side, the bottom side, see the liquid coming out there? A couple of bubbles. That, my friends, is where my fuel leak is coming from. And that's how air is getting into the system. The engine's losing its prime because there is no lift pump from the fuel tank to the engine, which I have absolutely never understood why you wouldn't put a lift pump or a fuel pump in the fuel tank to help prime the system. You got to push this plunger after you open a bleeder. That's over here, slightly out of view. So, I have a buddy at work, and he fixes rusty junk all the time. And the other day, I told him about the leak, and he said, well, you know what? I've got an extra filter head. Actually, I have multiple filter heads that I've taken off other trucks. Would you like it? And I said, you're darn right I would like it. So I think we're going to put this filter head on there, pump it up, and see if it leaks, because I don't have a way to test it for leaks without swapping it, because I have to change. This is where the water and fuel sensor goes, and I mean everything else looks 2 wires on top and then the wire on bottom for the water and fuel sensor. So that should swap out. The filter head bolts to the cylinder head, so we have 2 bolts on the back side, one there, one here. We'll have to undo those. We'll have to undo these hose clamps there, and there's one down there, and then slide those hoses off, remove the filter, remove the water and fuel sensor, replace the head, plumb all that back together again, and well, basically hope for the best. But first, we need to swap out the battery on this one as well, because it's a little more important than getting the truck running that, well, doesn't currently get used every day. So I want to verify that pin 16 is the pin that we want to use to jump this. If you didn't see the episode where I ended up having to figure out how to jump this thing in order to make it start because the circuit board has failed, then feel free to go back and check that out again. But I believe it's pin 16, which is this guy right here. And if I hit manual, it should start up by itself. Is this battery completely... Oh, wait, I turned the breakers off. I'm not sure if that matters or not. I thought it was pin 16. No, I think this thing's dead as a doornail. That, or the cables are completely corroded, or the fuse is blown. Fuse is blown. Why? Well, that's unfortunate. I need a 15 amp glass fuse, and I think I might have one. Oh, I put a 10 amp in here because I didn't have a 15 amp. That was smart. I guess that's extra protection, right? All right, let's go see if we have one, and then we'll try this again. You know, we had a lightning strike not too long ago that was pretty dang close to the house, and maybe that was part of the problem. There's a bunch of glass fuses. All right, cross your fingers I can find a 15 amper in here. There's a 10. Okay, well, we're gonna get another 10 amper because that lasted a long time. Found one. So if I had to guess, this battery is probably dead because I think when this fuse blows, it stops charging the system. And there's a possibility as well, okay, we have lights, blinking lights. There's also a possibility that this contacted the door, traffic. There's a possibility too that this cable contacted the door, which may have shorted the system. So let's go ahead and try again, traffic again, because everyone's coming home from work. Love it. Fairly certain this goes on pin 16 and manual. Nothing. Is the battery dead or am I in the wrong wire? Which is a very strong possibility. Or is it pin 15? Dang it, I can't remember. Why can't I ever remember? Or is that 16? Because 15 and 16 look very similar. Okay, it's pin 15, not pin 16. So, good news. We know what we have to do. We're gonna take this out just for safety's sake. And the thing is, you touch these 2 cables together and it will destroy the battery charging system. You're wondering why maybe I have a different battery or why I got a different battery. Holy cow, get off of there. Because this battery doesn't fit inside the case here, the housing, the enclosure, whatever the heck you want to say. So we're gonna hold these wires apart from each other, pull out this battery, which has a nice handle on it. Put this battery in here. Negative, positive. And what I do need is we are going to make a switch. Why do I want to switch? Well, I'm not going to replace the circuit board because it's over $350. So I found a button, normally open, push to close. And we're going to run a couple wires to it. We're going to set that button in a convenient spot so that when we lose power, until I can afford a new circuit board, we will hit manual, push the button. When the generator starts, we'll let the button go. I cannot run a permanent wire from the positive to pin 15 because if I do and we start the engine, the starter will not disengage until that wire is pulled off of pin 15. Get out. Take your half ball and off you go. Let's get out our handy dandy kit and figure out what size we need, which is, good guess, 13. Holy traffic. What do you know? It's Weir's Fleet and Truck Service Day today. Who knew? No idea what that is in the first place. Tighten, thank you so much for that ball right on my tools. We're going to tighten up this wire, the negative post, although I am feeling very positive today. I know. Quit my job, start a comedy club feature thing on Netflix. Make my $6 million a year. That'd be sweet. Thank you, Titan. You're a good boy. I could get an eyelet if I decided I wanted to walk back to the house, but that's just a lot of exercise. Nope, that's not going to work. We need an eyelet. Okay. BRB. Eyelet set has been acquired. Knees. Not too thrilled about kneeling down like this. This should work. We'll just use this also to scrape off some of the excess corrosion. Just kidding. That's what the screwdriver is for. Tuck that guy in there. Definitely a little extra. I never know which one of these to use, so I just use what makes me happy. I think this one makes me happy today. Yep, it definitely makes me happy. Someone commented the other day on one of my videos, "This is a great 10-minute video. It took 55 minutes to film." I chuckled and replied, "Well, thank goodness for the ability to skip." Oh, there's the missus. She is home. Elsa has opened up the gates. All right, so we are attaching this baby here. Should give us adequate continuity. We put the red cover on. Black cover there, like so. Okay, continuity check. We are going from hot battery to the landing location of wire 15. Hit the manual button. Fuse is not in. Just kidding. Try again. Okay, we have the right wire. Now there's a little hole in here with a grommet. I'm going to measure an approximate distance to get the wire up there. Plus, I kind of want my switch to stick out in a spot that isn't super annoying. Probably run it out another grommet here. Yep, we can run it out here and just kind of let it dangle, like Forrest Gump style. A little bit of extra won't hurt. There we go. All right, we'll go out here through this side hole. Immediately forgot the microphone. Still have to get used to that thing. Okay, wire is stripped. Screwdriver, there you are. Okay, one side of our switch. This is made for a much smaller gauge. Don't really care. I'm gonna laugh if this is normally closed and not normally open. But there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And that's by struggling immensely. Screw that baby down. That's gonna be debatable. Okay, then we need a wire to come back through this little hole into our pin, so that should work. Okay, we are stripped. Actually, we're not going to strip the other side because I'm going to commit a cardinal sin, and I'm going to use a Scotch clip to tie it into the existing pin. I know. It's going to be okay one way or another, or it won't. We'll find out quickly. Actually, I am going to strip just a little bit of this because I want to be able to test it before we commit fully. Okay, there we go to that guy. Fuse. Okay, push the switch, hit manual. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It is normally closed. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that was fun. Time for plan B. Well, that was a massive failure. I have this ridiculous 1, 2, 3 switch, on, off, on. So should switch between two different circuits, but we're not going to do that. We're going to test and see if this guy goes here and this guy goes here, and we go to pin 15 and we hit the manual button and then switch it. Maybe. That makes 0 sense, but okay. These left 2 pins correspond to the right hand switch side. Okay. So I have these little connectors and crimp him in there, and a crimp. Lovely. Oh, and it's gone. And we'll give this one a crimp as well. This little guy is going to come through here. We're going to take our nice, new, beautiful little switch, go to the pins that make 0 sense, outside and middle, And we're going to do the cardinal sin of using a Scotch clip to tie this into here. Then we're going to do the pinch. Okay. We're going to hit the on button and manual. Beautiful. Now we're going to close up that Scotch clip. There we go. We're clipped on there. And we will tape this to our green wire here. This is only temporary, which will probably turn into permarary. If you've watched the show before, you know what permarary means. All right. There we go. This way I can put the whole thing back together the way it's supposed to go. Okay, this baby has not been started for a very long time, and normally it's supposed to exercise every week. When it sits this long, for those of you that have watched before, it takes quite a while to start. We'll hit the on button, and we're going to switch it to manual start. Should crank forever, and when it's done cranking, I'll flip that back to 0, and Bob should hypothetically be our uncle. Come on now. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Now, why did I do all this? Well, it's pretty simple. In my mind, anyway. Probably not anyone else's, because I'm weird. I don't want to have to remove this cover. I want to be able to attach this cover, and I want to be able to come out here when the power goes out, and I want to be able to flip that switch, hit the manual button. Actually, I could do the auto button. That way it shuts off when the power comes back on. And then that way, it's a simple flip of a switch. I don't have to pull off a bunch of bolts and nuts to get this out of here, run a wire from down there up to here, jump it, blah, blah, blah. Bob would not be my uncle in that case. So anyway, I'm feeling good. I think we're in a good place right now until I can get a new board for this and fork out that ridiculous amount of money. And it's 8 o'clock. Oof, we are past dinner time. See you folks soon. Instead, we are going to change that filter housing right there. So I'm going to get some tools. We're going to take off this intake boot and we're going to get to work. Okay, loosen up these clamps. One here and one here. Lovely. Okay, the boot is off. Next, let's get these hose clamps off of here. If they will cooperate, which they usually don't, which is awesome. There's one. There's two. I'm going to pull off this. Oh, nope, that's already off. We don't need to worry about that. We can disconnect that cable bundle down here. We can also take the water and filter sensor. Traffic, holy cow, go away. Take out the water and filter sensor. I'm going to try to pull the head and the filter all in one, which shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to get a pick and see if we can go ahead and break the seal between these rubber lines and the steel lines. Let's see what we can do here. That went through nicely. Oh boy, that's not going to be easy. Not in the least. But I can at least twist it, so that's a bonus. Screwdriver. Oh, there we go. Hopefully there's not a lot of fuel that comes out. If there is, we're going to have to throw this back on pretty quick. I just heard a bunch of air enter the system. A little bit, not bad. We're going to want to be careful. This is the line that goes to the high pressure pump. We need to make sure that that does not get contaminated with a bunch of trash. I'm going to go see if I have a cap for it. I do not have a cap, so we're going to put this little glass baby jar over top of it. But that's better than nothing. Is it a 12? It is a 12. Nice. Oh, folks, we are... I'm not going to say anything. because we know how my luck goes. And out we go. Look at that. That wasn't so bad. Let's just cross our fingers that the new one's good. Well, after all of that, it turns out they are not the same. Thankfully, I didn't completely disassemble this one, but if you notice, the fuel lines, they point in different directions. And that's just not going to work, because the top line right here, that points directly at the cylinder head, and it doesn't give me any opportunity to attach the rubber line. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy back on, and we're just going to go ahead and deal with it. Well, that was a bit of a failure. I reinstalled the old one, primed it, fired it up. Everything works fine. So long term, it's going to be something I'm going to replace. Not going to replace it now because we're taking a trip this weekend with the boat. But yeah, long term, want to replace it because that means it's potentially sucking small amounts of air into the system, which will not be good for the injectors or the fuel pump long term. Anyway, we'll just keep on trucking for now. Can you tell I worked under the hood of a diesel? Yeah. That's how your hands always look under a soot factory. And what are you wearing? Alright, so this was the first year that I actually winterized this boat myself. I have all the faith that we did a good job. A friend of mine helped me do it. So before I put it away for the night, I'd like to see if it's going to fire up. So let's go ahead and start the water. Now I should probably get the keys. Water coming out of the exhaust ports. I know that's propeller's the primary exhaust port, but there's also vents on either side of where the lower unit connects to the boat. So I know we have water flow because that's hot. Yeah, that's hot. Sweet. Alrighty. Oil pressure good. Coolant temp, well, water temp coming up. A whopping 625-ish RPM. Fuel, low, not surprised. This has a 70-gallon tank. Charging, we are charging. That's about it. Okie dokie, time to put her to bed for the night. mighty bridge. What a marvel of construction. One fun thing about boating is all of these little bugs. They love us. And the thing is, they don't bite at all. They're harmless, but they're fragile. Anytime you touch them, they turn to mush immediately. I think they're looking for shade, and so they go everywhere shady. Oh my gosh.